Hey there. Have you ever thought about what's the key to making a personal relationship really succeed? Well, I have. I'm one of those freaky people that spends my life thinking about what makes people tick, and not just people, but relationships as well. You know, what makes people successful in sales, what makes them great leaders, what makes effective parenting, and what makes personal relationships really succeed. So I want to share with you some of the things I've found to be common ingredients and see whether these maybe match your own experience. So the first one to me that's really fundamental is that there's got to be an alignment of values, some sort of commonality around the values that you both share. So what I mean by that is that not that you have to vote for the same political party or maybe have the same religion, but certainly the same outlooks on life, you know, where if one person was really materialistic and the other person was not that way, that might be a conflict. One person was super ambitious and driven and wanted to really drive forward, and another person was sort of really lazy, that's not going to work. But if you've both got pretty similar values, I think that's important. Second thing that's really crucial, particularly in a personal relationship, is what I would just simply call chemistry. That you just really love hanging out and being together. It doesn't mean you've got to be together 24/7, but just really being together. And when you are, it's like connection. You know, that's just a buzz. That I think is really important. And the third ingredient that I think is really universal is around communication. That there is a real, willingness to listen and learn from the other person and share, not just absorb, but to give as well from a communication point of view. I think when people feel they've got really good communication, they're definitely on their way to having a great relationship. But you know what? Even people who've got great commonality of values, really good chemistry and really good communication can still really struggle, and in fact even end up failing in their marriage or relationship. And I've looked at that, so what's missing? And I think this is where the ID can come in. And that's simply this. In any relationship, one of the guarantees is that your partner is going to be different to you. You're uniquely who you are. So when your partner brings their uniqueness, they also bring difference. They've got a different way of implementing those same values, of communicating even around the same topics. They've got their own unique, natural, instinctive way of operating. And often people don't even understand what those differences are, or they're so sort of loaded with assumptions, or maybe what they've brought into the relationship with the expectations around, well, I'm male, so I should be doing this, you're female, so you should be doing that, or I'm the trained accountant, so I should be doing the money, you're the trained teacher, so you should be helping the kids with the homework. And I think a lot of the shoulds and those expectations and assumptions are based on all sorts of other things that are brought in, but they're not necessarily based on your partner. And what's really liberating for people is when they learn about their mate's ID and they go, oh, that's why you do things the way you do. Then those natural differences, instead of being a source of conflict, actually become something for fun. You can laugh about them as they happen. You can start to expect them to happen, and even get to the point where you rely on and use those differences as real talents and synergies in the relationship. So you can say, well, you're really good at this. This comes naturally for you. As they say, one person's passion might be another person's poison. And instead of debating and conflicting over that, if you're able to say, hey, why don't you do that? You're really good at that. You're the planning person. Why don't you plan the holiday? And I'm more the person that maybe creates a social dynamic, when we're on the holiday, and makes it fun with who we meet and what maybe comes up at the time. And instead of one person criticising the other for not doing enough of the planning and being involved in organising, not caring enough, for example, you can start to say, no, I get it, do the planning, do your bit around the atmosphere, the fun, the dynamics, and together it's a really beautiful plan. I think understanding that is really that missing ingredient that can make all the difference.